During Tuesday's Hearthstone 2020 showcase, Blizzard revealed a ton of new content that will be coming out very soon, including the new hero class. Demon Hunters will be joining Hearthstone as the 10th class starting in April, represented by the iconic Illidan Stormrage. There's a ton to learn about Demon Hunters in Hearthstone, and you shall be prepared. Huh, this should be interesting. So let's get right into it. On April 2nd, we'll get to play through a 4-mission Ashes of Outland prologue introducing Illidan to the Hearthstone universe, and all of us to the Demon Hunter class playstyle. Once we've completed this prologue, we'll have 10 Demon Hunter basic cards and all 20 Demon Hunter initiate cards for free. Then, when Ashes of Outland goes live on April 7th, we'll be able to hunt demons with Illidan on the ladder. Though I wouldn't be surprised if the demons we're hunting are from other demon hunters filling the ladder in the first few days. Probably. So, what kind of hero is Illidan? Well, first let's look at his hero power. His hero power, Demon Claws, is the only unaltered hero power to cost only 1 mana. And for this 1 mana, he gets half the Druid hero power, plus 1 attack this turn. It's not a weapon itself, so the attack stacks with any weapons and other attack buffing cards. And as we'll see soon, it looks as though a fair number of the Demon Hunter cards synergize with his ability to attack. Not all of the Demon Hunter basic and initiate cards have been revealed yet, but we'll cover the ones that were released on Tuesday in this video. In addition to the 10 basic and 20 initiate cards we'll get for free, there will be 15 more available through Ashes of Outland's packs, and it sounds as though the other expansions this year will have 15 cards each for Demon Hunters as well. The Demon Hunter cards revealed from Ashes of Outland will be covered in a separate video released on all the cards from the upcoming expansion. So, what are the basic Demon Hunter cards that will be with us for years? Well, 8 out of 10 of them were revealed. The first one is Shadowhoof Slayer, a 1-mana 2/1 demon with a battle cry to give your hero plus 1 attack this turn. Simple, aggressive, and synergizing with all the Demon Hunter smack things with your face. It should see quite a bit of play. The next basic card is Chaos Strike, a 2-mana spell to give your hero plus 2 attack this turn and draw a card. It's kinda like pre-nerf Power Word Shield. The effect is nice, but if you're running it, it's probably for the card draw. With all the headbutting Demon Hunters will be doing, this will probably be joining the meta too. And even with horns like Illidan, you can only headbutt so many times before passing out if you don't have some healing. Aldrachi Warblades are here to help. They're 3-mana 2/3 weapons with lifesteal. If you use the last 2 cards together with this, you can heal back up quite a bit, or at least take out hefty minions without killing yourself. For those times you want to take a moment to treat that ringing in your head for a moment, you can let the little guys fight for you. Why not summon 3 1/1 Illidari with Rush from the 3-mana spell Coordinated Strike? Your head will thank you, and there are some surprisingly good uses for these little guys. We'll see in some of the cards we'll cover from the Initiate set. But of course, you can't leave all the fighting to your minions. Sometimes you have to show them that you're fighting right alongside them. For example, when the 3-mana 4/2 demon, Satyr Overseer, sees your hero attack, he summons a 2/2 Satyr to join your board. That purple face, skin color, not bruises of course, is really starting to pay off now, isn't it? Now, when you need to heal a bit without turning any more purple, you might decide to use this next card. Soul Cleave is a 3-mana lifesteal spell to deal 2 damage to 2 random enemy minions. It's Warrior's Cleave for 1 more mana, but it heals. Warrior's Cleave almost never sees play, but this might. Maybe? Is the tide of battle turning against you and you just don't care about the peons? I mean, poor souls on your own side of the board anymore? You may want to use Chaos Nova, a 5-mana spell to deal 4 damage to all minions. It's Flame Strike for 2 less mana, but it hits your own sacrificial pawns. Poor souls, too. And on the top end of the basic cards, we have the other minion motivated by seeing you gore your opponents with your horns. Glaive Bound Adept. He's a 5 mana 7/4 with a battle cry to deal 4 damage if your hero attacked this turn. He's like Crowd Roaster, but cheaper. He only does 4 damage instead of 7, but he's easier to set up and can go face. Preferably your opponent's face. Yours isn't looking so good anymore. Need a bandage? Next up are the Demon Hunter Initiate cards. During the showcase stream, they mentioned these are associated with the Year of the Dragon, so these will most likely rotate out of Standard in a year. All the other classes have 15 cards in the Classic set, 10 from the Basic set, and 30 or so cards from the Year of the Dragon. If each class gets 10 cards from this expansion as well, they will have about 65 cards to choose from, while Demon Hunters will only have 45 class cards, even with the new set. So I am curious if the class will be very flexible, given the fewer options. In any case, the following cards are the ones we know about so far from the Initiate set. Are you tired of taking damage? Why not Blur yourself? Blur is a 0 mana spell which makes it so that your hero can't take damage this turn. Essentially, it's immune and allows your hero to headbutt things without any headaches. Oh, and while Leroy Jenkins will rotate to wild, effects like Knives from Knife Juggler responding to summoned minions during your turn or other silliness like that will be nullified if they would go face. And when cutting things once just doesn't feel like enough, you can try out Twin Slice. It's a 0 mana spell which gives your hero +1 attack this turn. And for good measure, it adds Second Slice to your hand as well. Second Slice does the same thing, but since you only have 2 hands, or horns, you don't get a third slice. This is essentially a twin spell card, but the Second Slice refuses to stay in the same spot in your hand as the initial one did, which is an important distinction due to the Demon Hunter keyword effect we'll cover shortly. Remember those cards from the basic set that responded well to you fighting alongside them? Well, if you want to get the party started early, chuck Battle Fiend onto the board on turn 1. Battle Fiend is a 1 mana 2/2 demon, but unlike that super weak Blazing Battle Mage that never sees any play in aggressive decks, this guy gains +1 attack after your hero attacks. With 1-drops like this, who needs a lot of class cards to choose from to make the class work? Now, with Spellbreaker rotating to wild as well, most classes are going to be looking for other ways to shut down anything fun their opponents are playing. Luckily, Demon Hunters will have the 1 mana spell Consume Magic to fulfill this role. The effect is to silence an enemy minion, but it also draws a card with the Outcast condition if it's filled. Just like Combo for Rogues and Overload for Shamans, Demon Hunters have the class-specific keyword Outcast. You can get the Outcast effect from a card if it is the leftmost or rightmost hand in your card when it's played. So it's one of the outer cards of your hand when you cast it. Outcast. Well played, Blizzard. Well played. Since the Echo cards are rotating to wild, that won't be something Demon Hunters have to think about. But they may still have to take a moment to clear the ringing in their head to figure out how to utilize these effectively. Moving on, if silencing key minions wasn't sufficient to make your opponent cry, try out Mana Burn. It's a 1 mana spell to make your opponent have 2 fewer mana crystals next turn. This is really going to mess up those carefully planned out combo decks and other shenanigan decks when played at the right time. Half of our meme experiments will probably fall victim to this. It is an entire card slot for this effect, but the disruption ability paired with the card draw options Demon Hunter will have make me think this will see a fair bit of play, ruining combo players' day. Of course, laying claim to the best 1-drop ever printed isn't sufficient for Demon Hunters. In the hunt for ways to mimic the most influential 1-drops, Demon Hunters found a horrifying, aggressively statted cousin to Firefly. Urzel Horror is a 2/1 demon with a death rattle to add a 2/1 Lost Soul to your hand. Unlike Firefly, the Lost Soul does not have a tribal tag, so it doesn't meet demon synergies the way Firefly met elemental synergies. But really, if the success of Firefly is any indicator, this will almost certainly find its way into most of the Demon Hunter decks. So when you get tired of smacking things with your face and running your sacrificial pawns, poor souls, into the enemy, why not just start randomly chucking blades at enemy minions? We'll even call it a dance if you like. Blade Dance is a 2-mana spell to deal damage equal to your hero's attack to 3 random enemy minions. It's essentially pre-nerf Blade Flurry that can't go face. Quite nicely, it doesn't destroy the weapon if you've got one equipped, but it is limited to just 3 random enemy minions. Honestly, with all the Demon Hunter attack buffs, this feels really good against anything but a wide token deck. Did you fill your deck with way too many low-cost cards like any good aggro deck? If so, you may be concerned about running out of cards too quickly. Remember all those poor souls we've been lamenting this whole time? Yeah, you get to devour them like a real hero. Yeah. Feast of Souls is a 2-mana spell to draw a card for each friendly minion that died this turn. It pairs really well with the other cards we're reviewing that summon many low health minions at once, especially the ones with Rush. They really are just sacrificial pawns. Now, when you're ready to summon slow, non-rushing pawns to fight for you, don't count on those guys that got lost in the jungle to muster for battle. Rather, grab your Umberwing and let it call Fellwings to your side. Why is the weapon crying for battle? I'm not sure, but someone stuck a skull to it for some reason, so let's not question it. Umberwing is a 2-mana 1/2 weapon with a battle cry to summon 2 1/1 Fellwings. Fellwings are demons, and sometimes that's relevant. While this is effective and synergistic, this actually feels like one of the weaker cards from this set. But the next card is anything but weak. Illidan, has mastered shooting beams from his blindfolded eyes. I wonder how many blindfolds he goes through. Anyways, Eye Beam is a 3-mana spell with lifesteal to deal 3 damage to a minion. If it's the leftmost or rightmost card in your hand when played, Outcast, it costs 0 mana. Gadgetzan Auctioneer thinks this is the best deal anywhere when you draw this with his help, allowing you to continue drawing while healing up at no cost. So, coming back to those poor souls, we know they're just sacrificial pawns now. Well, a number of the Demon Hunter cards don't really expect to stick around for a long time, but they've decided to offset their weakness and go out in a blaze of glory. Wrathscale Naga is here to help them with that. He's a 3-mana 3/1 glass cannon that deals 3 damage to a random enemy after a friendly minion dies. This effect can go face, but it's not really reliable as a finisher, as its effect can hit minions, and you likely need enemy minions to run your own friendly minions into to get this effect. If you're lucky enough that your opponent doesn't have direct removal, silence, whirlwind effects, or really anything, this guy might survive behind a taunt long enough to sacrifice himself for another Wrathscale Naga. If you haven't been impressed by the Outcast effects we've seen thus far, feast your eyes on this bloodthirsty Illidari. Illidari Fellblade is a 4-mana 5/3 rush minion with the Outcast effect to gain immune this turn. She's a very effective single target removal when planned correctly, or fortuitously top-decked. She's just good. Have you decided to run expensive demons in your aggro deck? Why? Why would you do that? Well, if you do, then you might want Raging Fellscreamer's help. She's a 4-mana 4/4 with a battle cry that the next demon you play costs 2 less. This effect lasts across turns and it stacks. So if you're failing to use your horns aggressively enough, you could actually play a 10-mana demon on turn 6 if you played these on turn 4 and 5. She makes some of the overcosted demons we'll see later, and during the Ashes of Outland reviews, feel a bit more reasonable. But let's be honest, you'll probably just end up dropping cheap demons for even cheaper. Now if you thought regular hunters had a monopoly on flooding the board with 1/1 rush minions, think again. Demon hunters can do it for cheaper. with one less minion, of course. Command the Illidari is a 5-mana spell to summon 6 1/1 Illidari with Rush. This pairs exceptionally well with the Feast of Souls card we covered a moment ago, for you to mercilessly fling your loyal and faithful comrades in arms to be devoured. But you potentially draw 6 cards for 7 mana while doing 6 damage to the enemy board. Or you could fulfill every Black Howl Gunspire meme player's dreams by pairing this with Wrathscale Naga and blast 3 damage shots all over the place for 8 mana. Sadly, Demon Hunters haven't figured out how to buff these guys like the Hunter Quest yet. But it's still a really powerful card. For those occasions when Demon Hunters have really failed to gore their opponents to death, they may need to slow down the opponent or set up the board for another aggressive push. In this case, Wrath Spike Brute looks to be pretty effective at holding the line. She's a 5-mana 2/6 demon with taunt that does 1 damage to all enemies, including their face, after she's attacked. Now, we just need to figure out how to add bees to our Demon Hunter deck so that we can sacrifice her for absurd AoE damage. Did you like the Warrior Death Knight weapon from Knights of the Frozen Throne? Well, it would seem that after failed attempts to take down the Lich King, Illidan decided to copy the Warrior Death Knight's weapon effect. Flame Reaper is a 7-mana 4/3 that also damages the minions next to whomever your hero attacks. Hit 3 minions for the face damage of 1? Nice. This will help clear the way for your own pawns to make 1 or 3 final assaults on the opponent's face. And the last card for today is Batterhead. I mean Hulking Overfiend. It's an 8-mana 5/10 rushing demon that gets to attack again after it attacks and kills a minion. He's a more aggressive Batterhead, but only Demon Hunters can use him. Thank heavens Res Priests can't steal this fiend. Well, other than mind control, but nobody's crazy enough to run that, right? Please tell me they won't. I have nightmares about buffed smash, smash, smashes. Fortunately for Demon Hunters, the enemy minions will be smashed by this Hulk. And that's it for our coverage of Demon Hunters for now. We will cover the rest of the Demon Hunter cards during the card reviews for Ashes of Outland that we'll do over the next couple weeks. If you enjoyed our content, drop a like, smash the subscribe button, and ring that bell icon so that you'll get notified when our next video goes live. You're awesome. Thank you for watching, and have an awesome day.